Okay, fuckers and fuckettes. This isn't really for but a few of y'all that I talk to on Google+, but anyone's welcome to answer. Comment, whatever. I ain't gonna delete shit. I would love to see where this one goes. You can leave video comments. I think they get automatically approved. If they don't, I'll approve them anyway. I don't care if you put up Mickey Mouse flipping a bird, I'll still approve it. But anyway, here's some questions that I would love the media to ask Mr. Obama. Now, Mr. Obama, why is it that, now you said, your own words, are the only people who are afraid of the truth is those with something to hide. I'm an intelligent enough person that I understand that your college records are not sealed, but they've also never been released. Now, normally as a requirement of getting a federal job, they want you to release your transcripts at bare minimum. They'd love to see your dissertation. I mean, fuck. I probably still owe Kinko's money on mine, but
well, it's been past 7 years, so I don't know nothing anymore. No, I'm kidding. I paid my Kinko's bill in full long ago.
But Mr. Obama, if you have nothing to hide in your college records, why won't you release them? And you're going to make a big deal about Romney just released enough tax records to be eligible to run for president. And as far as going back beyond 5 years worth, you're not required to keep them past 5 years. I mean, some people think it's 7. I'm told by my tax guy that I only need to keep them 5 years. I think I've kept them about 10. I just got a box of shit in there that I've never emptied out. I just, you know, okay, if that's what y'all say, and then I just stuff the papers in that box. That's how that shit works. But Mr. Obama, if you have nothing to hide in your college records, why have you not released them? That's one fair question. Mr. Obama, when you made that trip to Pakistan, or whatever country it was that Americans weren't supposed to be in, could you please explain to the American people what passports you used and show us? Or if you did the thing like when I go down here to Cuba and I get my passport stamped in the Bahamas first, they go over to Cuba, put that little slip of paper in the passport, you throw that away before you come back to the States, and then the only place you was the Bahamas. Now if you did something like that, please feel free to explain it. I would love to hear an explanation. And another thing, if you did not have anything to do with Eric Holder and that whole illegal gun running thing, that Fast and Furious, why, sir, did you declare executive privilege? You ain't got nothing to hide. Why are you claiming executive privilege in that one? Now, to continue on, Mr. Obama, you said when you was running for office that this Obamacare would not be a tax. Well, now that the Supreme Court has said it is indeed a tax, why have you done nothing about it? I mean, you yourself said the worst thing you can do in a downed economy is to raise taxes, and then yet you've got this Obamacare bill that is a tax, number one. And hidden within that bill is several other taxes that will be added to people. Why haven't you just dropped the Obamacare thing? I mean, it's liability we can't afford anyway. I have another question there on that topic, Mr. Obama.
All these people that paid into Medicare all these years, and then you're going to take $700 billion out of Medicare and put it into Obamacare. Are them people going to get their money back? Because we know that we're going to end out with a bunch of intermediate people in the 55 plus age range right now that they should be getting Medicare, but Medicare's not going to have no money, and Obamacare ain't going to cover them for some god-awful reason. Nobody believes that Obamacare is going to be adequate coverage for anyone. What's up with that? I'd like a detailed explanation on that one. And now, to continue on, this is a question that I would love to hear a reporter ask Mr. Obama. If
You've created so many jobs, how come I can look around this industrial park? You know, if you were good for the economy, let me count. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I see 14 bays empty in an industrial complex that used to have about a 6-month waiting list to get in. If you're good for the economy, how come all of these industrial complexes are damn near barren? I'm not going to say barren, but about 50% of capacity, where before you got in, they were full. So that's another valid question. If you're good for the economy, how come you fucked it up so bad? And if government creates jobs, how do you explain government motors? I'm sorry, General Motors, GM, we'll just call them GM for short because everybody's calling them government motors these days anyway. But under federal supervision, after the Fed stepped in and bailed out GM, how come by your administration's instruction, GM shipped jobs overseas? How was that good for Americans? Pretty sure it wasn't. Anyway, continuing on that note, those are just some of the questions I would love to hear a reporter ask. And I mean, the main one that I would love to hear a reporter ask Mr. Obama is, Mr. Obama, if you have a valid birth certificate, why have you not just spent the $35 or $50, got a real original copy of it, and walked into any one of these court cases, flipped that sucker down on the counter and said, hey, putting into this shit right now. And, you know, I mean, hey, pick a high-profile one. Pick one with Orly Tates or somebody. You know, and tell Hawaii to just let that record out in the open. You're going to spend millions and millions of dollars fighting all these lawsuits instead of just going down, getting a copy of the real thing, flipping it down on the counter in front of the judge and saying, hey, here it is, shut these motherfuckers up forever. And you've spent millions of the taxpayers' dollars. You've spent over $3 million that we know about of your own money, and some estimates say $6 million, but the only ones that confirm out are about $3 million. Why would you spend all that fucking money fighting having to show your birth certificate when it's only $35 or $50 and what, you know, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 to have your lawyer show up in court one time and just flip that sucker on the counter and go, okay, we're done with this. Here's the real deal. I mean, you put stuff up on the White House website, people prove it a fraud. You had shit on your own campaign website back in 2008. People proved that a fraud. You had another one up. People proved that a fraud. If you've got the real thing, why are you fighting showing it, spending millions of dollars when you can just spend $50 and, all right, here you go. You could probably just call the governor of Hawaii and say, all right, look, just release my birth records. That probably wouldn't cost you shit. And you'd probably make Hawaii a fortune, because you know every goddamn redneck, their brother and their kid and their neighbor's dog is going to be sending off trying to get a copy just to make sure it's the real deal. Fuck, you could probably double Hawaii's state revenue for, at least for the records department, probably for several years. Sounds a lot simpler to me. I mean, you know, maybe maybe having a doctorate of mathematical and computational sciences and a PhD in physical electronics makes me a little bit dumber than the average person. But why would you not just release the birth certificate? The real thing in one of these court cases instead of spending millions of dollars fighting these court cases. I mean, you could have your lawyer walk it in, you wouldn't even have to show up in person. Why are you wasting all the taxpayers' money? Because, I mean, you know, on your side, you've got your little team of lawyers and that's about it. And that has costed you several $1 million, you know, at least $3 million that is provable. On the taxpayer side, fuck, you've costed us over $20 million. You got judges, you got court clerks, you got fucking all this other shit going on. Why? I want an answer to that one. Why? I'm not a birther. But I really would love an answer. You know, why would you spend millions of dollars fighting having to show it if you really had? If it would really pass judicial review. Anyway, those are some questions I would love to hear a reporter directly ask Obama and not, you know, little Jay Carney or somebody. I'll let y'all fuckers and fuckheads later.